Okay, it's now 2 years in a row, Patrick, that we have a Timberwolves player, a relatively newcomer. I mean, last year
Mhm.
D'Lo had been around for a couple years,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we have another Timberwolves player upset that fans are upset. So I'm going to read these and then you can react because a lot of the audience may not have seen or heard this. But
Hmm.
in the third quarter against a depleted Heat team, and the Wolves were just kind of struggling to stay within 10 for a while, they did win the game. The crowd started booing at times. And
Hmm.
Gobert says, I just don't appreciate people that come in to boo your team. When you're a fan, you got to support the team in the tough or good moments. There's no team in NBA history that only had good moments. Oh, we know. Uh, and then the follow up from Johnny K was, well, don't you think that the booing comes from their expectations being high for this team? And he said, I don't care. I've never experienced that before. I think you can get booed if you're really, really playing bad. In Utah, I probably can remember in 9 years, I don't even remember a few times getting booed. They are not always going to go well. It's a long season. You can't just boo every time the other team makes a run.
Yeah, Rudy, you played in Utah. They very much love having the Jazz out in Utah because it's all they have. They probably have a kinder view of the team. Rudy, this is a competitive market, and the Timberwolves, when you evaluate everything, have been a complete embarrassment. And they're also charging a lot of money to go and watch the game, but it shows the naivete of a guy who's new to town. And guess what? I don't think it's expectations. I think it's 33 years of crap. So that might have something to do with it. But oh god, player.
What
No.
if Philadelphia had traded for him? Or
Yes, right,
Oh
right.
my
my
gosh.
God, it's not
New
like this is
York.
a hard sports market in terms
Yes,
of like,
I
yeah,
was I was in and out of the game. I don't know. Was it raucous booing or just your
it,
normal
just
boo?
impatient. It was just
Yeah,
like they won the game, but there was no Jimmy Butler, no Tyler Hero, and they were down
yeah.
by double digits for the majority of the game. And
Mhm.
they were dumb passes. D'Lo had one basket. It was just kind of a slop fest
Can we
until they got it together at the end.
can we be sure they weren't booing those uniforms? What a
Could
bunch
have
of
been. They could have.
clowns. What a but I've got a whole new view of the Twins' new stuff after watching that idiocy last night. What a jerks. But yeah. Well, good. Hey, I got the turkey committee's having their final meeting today
Oh,
here, Rudy.
Wow, wow.
Rudy, that would be quite an upset victory to be here for a month, right? And win the award
At the wire.
at the wire.
At the wire is Rudy.
Hitting the tape, hitting the tape. You know what? They can't play those two guys together. It's you watched them even last night down the stretch. Cat fouled out, and then Rudy comes back in. But Rudy's he just drifting around. He made 4 free throws down the stretch. Two of them crawled. Two of them were crawlers, and then the second one each time swished. But those were his first shots of the night. He had no shots. He didn't take. That's not on your teammates. Don't you have to get a rebound and get a shot somewhere in there? This isn't working. This isn't going to work. They're going
I do think I saw last night that when those guys were on the court together, the Wolves were like a plus 15, and then when they weren't, the Wolves
Wow.
got destroyed.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it did work last night, just to be clear.
To some degree, maybe, but offensively, it is not smooth when when he's out there. I don't. I watched him. I didn't watch. I watched 12 minutes. Okay. Uh, it never looks like it's easy, does it? With these guys, it never looks like that. It's harder work to score than it should be with these guys. I don't know what's going on, but I don't. I've decided I don't like this team. So
Maybe you should go and boo at Target Center.
Yeah,
Voice your
right.
displeasure.
Well, I think probably even in the press box watching the Wolves sometimes in the last 25 years, I've booed.
You're close enough. They can hear you.
I've been known to boo out of the press box once in a while.
oh yeah.
With them. It's just, you know what, Rudy? You're probably not making enough money too. That probably should hurt you. You shouldn't have to take boos when you're only making what 25 million or something like that. So
It is kind of a weird characteristic because it goes back to D'Lo last year too.
yeah,
That these guys, they start 5 games under 500 last year. They start terribly this year, and their primary concern is we just need more support from the fans. You guys, you're all a bunch of professional athletes. Do I think maybe the fans are a little quick on the trigger to boo? Maybe, but why are you even concerned about that?
Yes.
Just go do your job and win and grab rebounds, and the
by the
crowd
way,
will react
Rudy-
to how you play.
And by the way, Rudy, we don't even give you a hard time about closing down America because of COVID. You closed down America, Rudy. You were the reason. So I don't know.
To spreading COVID to all those reporters, recorders.
Causing panic. And didn't he do some joke about it? And then
Yeah, he touched
He
them.
touched all the recordings.
He
on
touched
the,
everyone's recorders, joking, "Oh, COVID,"
oh man!
and then he tested positive the next day.
The Turkey Committee is getting reminded of some old information here.
And then the league shut down, and then America shut down.
There's no real front runner here, so anything could happen. Anything could happen.
He's going to be shocked to find out about the Turkey of the Year too.
Yes,
I think
right.
if the fans booing were the first,
Yes, right.
People are critical. Oh my God!
Oh wow! They're, you know what? They're just going to have a winter of being irrelevant. They had something going last year. I'm not I don't lament losing Beasley not being around, Beverly not being around, some of those guys, but they had something going.
They have won 4 games in a row.
Yes, and all of them constipated, but they won them. Yeah, last night was you're playing Miami with Jimmy Butler taking his usual early season month off, where a little later he'll take about 3 weeks off, but he's taking his early season month off now, so that makes it easier for them. Speaking of taking time off, how about the Golden State Warriors? Did you see that last night? None of them played, and they got beat by 40 by somebody.
I think that's the second or third time they've done the full load management. They're just not going to play.
They didn't play Wiggy. They didn't play Curry. They didn't play Draymond, who they shouldn't play anyway. And
I have tickets to Sunday's Wolves game against the Warriors. We'll see what the load management schedule will be for that one.
Yeah. Don't they? I suppose they must have decided we don't have to win regular season games. All we got to do is get to the playoffs. So
Does the league draw a line at any point?
I don't
Does
know.
the league call you and say, yeah, when you didn't play your entire starting 5, that might be a problem?
Yeah, this all started with Pop, right? Remember, it was a big controversy when Pop started not playing. One Robinson and Duncan, one would play, and then the other might play. I think it goes back that far, and then it got completely out of hand.
There were times where Pop, I think, would send Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker home on a road trip.
Oh, you know what he did? They were gonna play the Heat. It was on TNT, and he did that, right. And TNT went ballistic.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I have done a mini tirade on this before, but it is amazing to me how, because of TV money, the big network, hockey's not involved in this, but how little they care about the customers anymore. How little the Twins, they don't care. We got a scheduled day off for Buxton and Correa on the same day. Go enjoy the ball game. They're charging you $14 for a beer. Now they're charging you $300 for a jersey. They don't care. The Vikings, they ungodly prices of, they moved you in. They made you pay a seat license. They moved you in. Not only they make you pay a seat license, they doubled the cost of all your tickets. $150 tickets went to $400, and with a seat license. And the concessions are ungodly. Nobody cares anymore about the customers. And then they wonder why somebody might want to move. It's, you can't walk into a football game, a basketball game, or a baseball game and not feel like you're getting screwed. Can you? Getting gouged? I mean, you're getting gouged everywhere you go. And
it is true. Yeah.
Now the Twins don't even have a guy come down and ask if you want a beer. They don't even have a guy walking up and down the aisle.
I miss those guys.
They don't have beer vendors walking up and down?
They don't have vendors anymore. COVID gave them an excuse for all this crap to screw the fans even worse. It's
Actually,
unbelievable.
it's kind of a genius because for years and years, it was the basic items, right? It was you could get popcorn or cotton candy or like a hot dog or a
hot dog
beer.
and beer.
But
it was
now,
mostly
but now they want you to go up and buy an $18, and I do,
yeah.
like Murray steak sandwich or you go to Senior Smokes or whatever,
You know
right?
what? I just think what you should have is beer and soda vendors. Okay, you don't have hot dogs. If you want a hot dog, go up and get a hot dog. But you should have the beer at those prices brought to you, shouldn't you?
With peanuts, though.
Yes, with
peanuts.
Because if
Great
I'm
peanuts.
getting drunk, I want something to eat
I
pretty
don't
quick.
think they like peanuts in the stands though, because
They don't.
The cleanup.
Too
thing.
bad.
You can still have them though, right? You
You
still
can have
sell
them. Yeah. Yep. You can still have them.
If you're a fan, you're getting screwed every golfers. Try to go watch this dumbass, terrible Gopher basketball team. And if you just try to buy tickets through the computer before you can go down and get them cheap if somebody's standing outside, but they're charging you like $50 to go watch this show. What the hell? What is wrong
The
with
Star
people?
Tribune does not condone this message.
They racked up another win last night. I don't know what you're complaining
did.
about.
Never that California Baptist will know better than to schedule us again. Damn it!
I told you before we started the show. Are they just like inventing new college basketball teams every year? It's like here's
they
another
are.
hyphenated team on your
Well,
schedule.
I didn't know where they came from, but then I saw their Division II. They're Division II, and there's 300. And this isn't like Division II in football, where there are 120 Division Ones, right, or something. There's 350 Division Ones.
Wait. So where would this is out in California, right? So Cal Bishop is hosted. So we'll travel halfway across the country to play Division II school,
Yes.
but we won't play St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, no, won't play St. Thomas. You might have drawn
Cowards.
12,000. You won't. Maybe you might draw 12,000 people who'd want to do that.
And why are they in this tournament? I mean, there's all these holiday tournaments, and this is where you go?
Nobody else wanted them, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Can't get into Atlantis anymore.
CBS Sports Network is about the work. I mean, if you are on a tournament shown by them,
Yes.
you should just stay home.
Why is that network still functioning? It's amazing. They have nothing.
No,
They have nothing.
no, they don't.
Yesterday, Patrick, the United States wound up drawing Wales, which is the population of Arkansas.
Yes, right.
So
But,
I don't know how this happens,
But
but
you say that, and then people tell you you don't know anything about soccer. But
No, we don't.
the other thing about Wales is they hadn't been in the tournament since '58, right? '58.
yes, that's correct.
It's been a long time.
And when I tried to take an interest in the foot and soccer a few years ago, Swansea City, Judd knows I adopted Swansea City as my team, and that's the second largest city in Wales is Swansea. So I was rooting for Wales yesterday.
Did they get relegated?
Huh?
They played here, Pat.
They got relegated. Yes,
They
they're not doing that well in regulation either. But anyway,
They played here. They brought you a jersey.
yes, they brought me. Yeah.
And Mackie and I had to accept it for you because
Well,
you
they
didn't
go to
show
the
up
game.
for that was the beginning of the end of your great
Well,
fandom of the Swansea City.
Well, yes, but they didn't bring half their regulars. They didn't.
Oh,
bring
again, they're screwing the
Oh,
fans.
That's right, Pat. Yeah. Can you
I'm a
remind us
Swansea-
who were those regulars again?
I'm a Swansea purist. If you don't bring me my regulars, I'm not going to.
Yeah, who were they again? It was that
Pat,
Larry.
name one of the regulars they didn't bring.
I know they had a guy from Africa that they ended up selling. That was the end of the franchise. I love those teams. They know they're not going to finish anywhere like above 14th. So if they get a good player, they sell them to one of the good teams, which really makes it difficult to catch them. Right?
They call it transfer.
Yes, I know.
They don't
Swansea
sell
City-
a trade. They transfer.
Swansea City seems like it has a lot of, in terms of the football club, a lot in common with Minnesota sports teams. If you go to their Wikipedia page, they have sections labeled a downward spiral and the difficult years return.
Yeah, they got promoted, and they lasted about 3 years or 4 years in promotion, and they were really happy because they were promoted in Cardiff, which is the biggest city in Wales. wasn't. They were down in the first division or whatever the hell they call it. For a while, we were the kings of Wales, and now we're not.
So maybe what we should do is, instead of trying to get the attention of all of the United States to be interested in soccer, what if we just went to one of these states that has a similar population? We said, okay, Iowa, you're going to be obsessed with soccer.
Yes, right.
It's the only. No one's going to play any other sport. If you're born in Iowa, you are born into a soccer factory, and we'll enter Iowa into the World Cup qualifier.
That's a good idea, because they get very upset when you mention population, though, because you don't know anything about soccer. Lavelle went to Brits early yesterday morning, and apparently they had a big crowd there to watch England play Iran. Hey, and congratulations to the Iran team. Because of the protests going on there, they did not participate. They just stood there silently during their national anthem before the game.
How much trouble are they in once they get home then?
Oh, we may never hear from any of them again. They take you away and kill you, but it's amazing how that protest is still going on and on and on. They haven't been able to quench it yet, but they probably will, kind of like China did theirs, 20 years ago now.
So Lavelle went to a bar. He accepted an assignment. Let me get this straight. In the morning to go to a bar.
Yes, I think that might have been that was, and then he went to 3 bars according to the column, and the Black Heart over there on University, which is that's a big soccer bar too. That's where Bruce McGuire and those guys hang out. And then there's one downtown. The downtown St. Paul didn't seem to be packed.
I heard the Cigar Bar in Fort Myers is a big World Cup bar too.
Yeah, he might have to make a trip down there to see how their fever is. Well, we got England Friday. That'll be a big one.
Well, anything can happen. Early this morning before we woke up, Saudi Arabia pulled one of the great upsets in soccer history, beating Messi's Argentina squad 2-1.
Wow. They will not take that well in Argentina. That is unbelievable. So now, Argentina will have to win twice then, or at least get out. So
I think if they said on the post game yesterday, if you win your first match in pool play, you have about an 89% chance to advance out, and if you draw, it's about a 60. So USA will basically need. They need a win to probably get out against England, but a tie will still suffice. But then they'll have to beat the other 2 teams.
Who's the guy who used to have the big red hair, and now he's got a clean cut hair, but he's like Mr. Saki?
Lawless.
Alexi Lawless.
Alexi Lawless. I happened to have turned on the radio and found their post game show was on it. Guess who he blamed?
Coach.
The refs.
Oh!
I will say the refs were a little light on the yellow cards. A little light on the yellow cards.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's we have a hard time accepting a U.S. defeat to a nobody.
He's a Bally's guy, clearly a Bally's employee of the future, Alexi Lawless.
Yeah, I gotta see my gal Marnie one of these days. Somebody told me she was talking about the wonders of the uniforms they were wearing last night. So
I agree. I thought
those were great.
Coming up next.
Yeah.
How they were made, stitch by stitch.
Unbelievable.
Oh man! All right, what's your? Well, we can talk to you again. Well, I guess we might not talk to you again before the Vikings play. So what's your vibe on? Are they going to bounce back?
I think that it's going to be a 17-13 game, but I really have a hard time figuring out who's going to win. I guess if I'm saying that many touchdowns, then the Vikings will win, because I don't think New England will be able to score 2 touchdowns. But it's going to be a slog, that's for sure. I think because Belichick is the smartest man to ever coach athletics in my lifetime, in my opinion. I'd put him ahead of every other coach in every other sport. And so he'll come up with something, and it's going to be hard going. And if you got that swinging gate playing left tackle, they're going to figure out some way to run past him. So
the over-under on this is still like 42.5 or 43, by the way. And I'm trying to figure out the math to get
there. Looks like
there.
an under game. By the way, congratulations to Iowa Gophers. Lowest over and under in the history of Division I football, and they covered easy.
Yep.
Covered easy. It was like 9 points under, a 32.5 point over and under. So, by the way, did you see that our Gophers, there wasn't a dry eye in the locker room, according to Coach Fleck?
Good. They should cry after that terrible performance.
Cry. It's football. You shouldn't cry. You should do what I do when I screw up. Self-loathing with many swear words, right? Call yourself names for being a dumb jackass. Don't cry. That's my.
Should have started with PJ Fleck, though.
Yes.
Do the Gophers in their program history, they must lead the nation for sure in the last 20 years in rushing for 300 yards and losing anyways.
Yes, right.
Glenn Mason ran for 400 yards twice and lost.
Yes. But when Mace did it, it was 35-32. It wasn't 13.
Yeah, the defense gave up. Yeah.
Yeah, the defense.
How do you run for 300 yards and not score 17 points?
Yeah, you can't. It's impossible. It cannot happen. It's unbelievable. It's I think one of the most embarrassing losses. And I mean, they've had 84-13 and all that when they were pathetic, but when they were competitive, this is as bad as it gets. This was as bad.
It's really bad. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but the Quick Lane Bowl is still
So I think
a possibility.
That's what it is. That's what it's, Pat. Quick Lane Bowl.
I think we have a damn good chance. We will have played, if we go to the Quick Lane Bowl, we will have played it under several different names, right? I mean, some of these you go to, we've been here before. The one in Arizona, we've been there about 4 times, but it's had about 3 different names.
Yeah, we've blown many big leads in that bowl game. Yes.
Whatever it is now, I don't know what it is. Micron was my favorite, though. The Maces.
The MicronPC.com.
I was
bowl.
there. They couldn't have been 5,000 people there in the place. It's why are we doing this?
Amazing. All right, you got to go back into the turkey cave here. And
hey, thank you, Rudy. Don't read the paper Thursday.
Oh, amazing. Should we do? I feel like we owe it at some point. Maybe tomorrow we'll write that down tomorrow, and then we can try and guess the
turkey preview.
Okay,
definitely.
Okay, all right. We'll start grinding our gears over that.
Mm-hmm.